The royal palace of Valanth stood tall against the violet sky, the crystalline spires reaching toward the twin suns. High Queen Nylara paced the throne room, her azure skin shimmering with anxiety. Her 6 eyes darted to every corner searching for threats that might never come. The disappearance of Princess Silva had shaken the entire Valanthian Empire. 20 rotations had passed since the young princess vanished during a diplomatic mission to the outer territories. The royal guards found no trace. The finest trackers of 3 systems returned empty-handed. Grief had consumed the queen, turning her once vibrant scales dull and lifeless. Her forearms hung limp at her sides as she stared out at the vast city below. The council members waited silently, their own multiple eyes downcast. None dared speak of what they all feared, that the princess was dead, taken by rival forces, or worse, sold to the brutal Xenalians. "Your Majesty," said Councillor Drez, his voice gentle. "We must consider appointing a new heir. The Empire needs stability." Queen Nylara turned her gaze cold enough to freeze the air between them. "My daughter lives," she said, her voice barely a whisper. "I feel her through the maternal bond. She lives, and she suffers. I will not abandon her." The councillors exchanged worried glances. They had heard this before. The Queen refused to believe what seemed obvious to all far across the galaxy on Earth in the United Space Force headquarters. Captain Amelia Foster received unusual orders. She sat across from General Rivera, her expression carefully neutral as she reviewed the mission. "Brief. This is a joke, right?" she asked, looking up from the tablet. The general did not smile. His weathered face remained serious. "This comes from the highest levels, Captain. We need a diplomatic solution to the Raxian conflict. Our resources are stretched too thin. We need allies, the Valanthians," Amelia said thoughtfully. "They have the technology and firepower we need, exactly, and they refuse to commit to our cause." The general leaned forward. "There are rumors that the Valanthian princess is being held on a Xenalian prison moon. Our intelligence suggests her return could secure the alliance we desperately need. Lieutenant Kelly has been working undercover near Xenalian space for 3 years," the general continued. "She speaks their language, understands their security protocols. She needs a pilot and a weapons specialist. I was top of my class in both." Amelia noted. The general nodded. "That, and your small size, makes you ideal for this operation." "The extraction vessel has limited space," Amelia frowned. "Most prison breaks require larger teams. Sir, most prison breaks aren't led by Lieutenant Kelly," the general replied, as if summoned by her name. Lieutenant Olivia Kelly appeared in the doorway. She was tall for a human, with short red hair and eyes that had seen too much. Her face bore a thin scar from temple to jaw, a souvenir from her undercover work captain Foster. "Lieutenant Kelly," said with a nod, "I read your file. Impressive combat record." "Likewise," Lieutenant Amelia replied, "though your file had more redacted sections than clear text." Olivia almost smiled. "We leave at 0600 pack. Light, bring only what you can carry while running, while the humans prepared on Earth." Princess Silva curled in the corner of her cell. The prison moon orbited the Xenalian homeworld, a cold rock carved into a labyrinth of cells and torture chambers. Her once beautiful blue skin had dulled to gray. Her royal markings faded. Her captors had removed 2 of her 6 eyes, a traditional humiliation for royal prisoners. She had stopped counting. The days stopped hoping for rescue. The Xenalians wanted information about Valanthian defense systems, about the sacred technology her people guarded. She had given them nothing, enduring their crude methods of persuasion with royal dignity. Each day the same guard brought her food, a strange Xenalian with 4 arms and scaled skin the color of rust. Unlike the others, he never struck her, never taunted. Her translator implant caught snippets of conversations outside her cell door. Sometimes the guard argued with others, insisting on proper prisoner treatment. On Earth, final preparations were underway. The ship was small, sleek, designed for stealth rather than comfort. Amelia ran through pre-flight checks while Olivia loaded specialized equipment. "We have a contact on the prison moon," Olivia explained, "a guard who sympathizes with our cause. He risks his life giving us information. Can we trust him? Amelia asked. Her Olivia corrected. Female Xenalians have rust-colored scales, and no, we can't fully trust her. But she's our only option. General Rivera approached as they completed loading. He handed Olivia a small device. Latest intel, he said. The princess is kept in isolation level 4, section 12. Her condition is poor, but she's alive. Our contact confirms the Xenalians still don't know her true value. They believe she's merely a royal advisor. Olivia nodded. If we succeed, this changes everything. If we fail, we become permanent residents of a Xenalian prison. Amelia finished. The general grimaced. Worse, the Xenalians don't take prisoners from failed rescue attempts. Remember your training. If capture is imminent. We know, Sir, Olivia said quietly. The suicide pills are standard issue as night fell on Valanth Queen. Nylara retired to her private chambers away from concerned advisors and pitying looks. She approached the sacred pool at the chambers, center a small circle of glowing liquid that connected the royal family across generations and space. Nylara dipped one slender hand into the pool, closed all 6 eyes, and reached out with her mind, searching for the faint thread that connected her to her daughter. Silva, my child. She called silently. Hold fast, help comes, across the void of space on the cold prison moon. Princess Silva jerked awake from fitful sleep. Her remaining eyes opened wide as she felt the faint familiar touch of her mother's consciousness. Mother. She thought back, her mental voice weak but clear. I endure. I remember the royal ways in her small cell. The princess straightened her posture, arranged her tattered clothing with dignity. For the first time in many rotations, hope flickered in her heart on Earth. The small stealth ship rose silently into the night sky. Its special engines left no heat signature as it accelerated to jump speed. Amelia and Olivia sat side by side in the cockpit, both focused on the dangerous mission ahead. How did you learn Xenalian? Amelia asked as they cleared Earth's atmosphere. Olivia was silent for so long, Amelia thought she wouldn't answer. I was a prisoner once. Olivia finally said, 3 years in a labor camp, I learned to survive. The ship hummed as it prepared for the jump to faster than light speed. Ready? Asked Amelia, her hand on the control. Olivia nodded, ready. The stars blurred around them as they leapt toward the Xenalian system, toward a princess who didn't know rescue was coming, toward a mission that could change the balance of power in the galaxy forever. The stealth ship emerged from jump space at the edge of the Xenalian system. Amelia immediately activated the cloaking technology that bent light around their small vessel, making it nearly invisible to sensors and eyes alike. They drifted silently, their engines powered down to minimum life support only. The Xenalian home system bustled with activity. Massive warships patrolled regular routes while cargo vessels shuttled between planets and mining stations. The prison moon orbited the gas giant, third from the central star, a small gray rock unremarkable except for its purpose. We need to time our approach with the supply ships, Olivia said, studying the traffic patterns. They're less likely to notice anomalous readings during busy periods. Amelia nodded, pointing to her display. Look, every 6 hours there's a delivery window. See how the patrol ships adjust their routes. Good eye, Olivia said with approval. That's our window. 3 hours from now, we slip in with the cargo ships, land in the maintenance sector, and enter through the waste management tunnels. While they waited, Olivia prepared their equipment, specialized tools designed for Xenalian security systems, weapons that could stun the massive aliens without killing them, protective gear, thin, enough to wear under prison guard uniforms they would steal. The most important tool was a small device that would temporarily disable Princess Silva's translator chip. The Xenalians monitored all active translators in the prison. If they were to escape, they needed the princess to be off the grid. This will hurt her, Olivia explained. But it's necessary. The moment we activate it, the Xenalians will know something's wrong. We'll have 20 minutes at most to get her out. On the prison moon, the rust-scaled guard approached Silva's cell with extra food hidden beneath the regular tray. She glanced up and down the corridor before speaking. Princess. The guard whispered the translator, making her harsh Xenalian language understandable. Be ready. They come soon. Silva looked up, her remaining eyes widening. "Who comes?" she asked, her voice barely audible. "Friends," the guard replied. "The signal will be 3 power fluctuations, then move quickly." Before Silva could ask more questions, another guard approached. The friendly guard straightened immediately, her demeanor changing. "This prisoner needs less food, not more," she growled loudly. "Remove half the ration." The approaching guard nodded and moved on. Silva watched this interaction with confusion but said nothing. She had learned that silence was safest in this place of pain and darkness. Aboard the stealth ship, Amelia and Olivia donned their gear, checking weapons and communication devices. One final time. "Remember," Olivia said, "our contact will mark the princess cell with a rust-colored handprint. If she's not there or if anything feels wrong, we abort. Rescuing the princess is the mission, but not at the cost of both our lives. Understood?" Amelia replied, though something in her expression suggested she might not follow that order if it came to it. The supply ships began their approach to the prison moon. Amelia skillfully maneuvered their vessel into the formation, keeping perfect pace with a large cargo hauler. The patrol ships scanned the incoming traffic, but their sensors slid right past the stealth technology. Amelia landed their ship in a maintenance bay far from the main docking area. The prison was constructed inside the moon itself, with kilometers of tunnels and chambers carved into the rock. Stale recycled air filled the ship as they equalized pressure. Olivia checked her wrist device. The prison schematics glowed faintly on the small screen level. 4 Section 12, approximately 2 kilometers from our position. She said, "We follow waste management tunnel B7 to junction 23, then access the secure levels through maintenance shaft." 4. They moved silently through the dimly lit tunnels, encountering no one. The prison operated with minimal staff, relying on automated systems and harsh environmental conditions to keep prisoners contained. The air smelled of chemicals and despair. At junction 23, they encountered their first obstacle. 2 Xenalian maintenance workers repairing a pipe leak. Olivia signaled Amelia to hold position. They couldn't risk using weapons, the sound might trigger alarms. Olivia removed a small device from her belt and slid it across the floor toward the workers. It released an odorless gas specifically designed to affect Xenalian biology. Within seconds, both workers slumped unconscious. "We'll have 15 minutes before they wake," Olivia said, moving forward quickly. "We need to be well away from here by then." They dragged the unconscious workers into a storage closet and continued through maintenance. Shaft 4. The shaft narrowed as they climbed, forcing them to crawl the final distance. The heat intensified the closer they got to the prison levels. Sweat dripped down Amelia's face inside her mask. They emerged in a narrow corridor on level 4. Olivia immediately checked for surveillance devices, finding 2 cameras, which she disabled with a specialized electronic pulse. Their prison guard disguises would fool casual observers, but not close inspection. They moved through the prisoner level following. Olivia's map cells lined both sides of the hallway, each sealed with energy fields that shimmered faintly blue. Alien prisoners of various species watched them pass, some cowering in fear, others staring with dead eyes. Section 12 was around the next corner according to the map. Olivia held up her hand, signaling Amelia to stop. She pointed to her ear, then down the hall. Guards talking, 2 of them. She mouthed. Amelia nodded and removed a small sphere from her belt. She activated it and rolled it down the hallway. The sphere emitted a high-pitched sound, inaudible to humans but painfully distracting to Xenalians. Around the corner they heard gasps of pain and confusion. They moved quickly, finding the 2 guards clutching their hearing organs. Olivia stunned them efficiently with her weapon. They fell heavily to the floor. Amelia dragged them into an empty cell, while Olivia continued searching for the princess. "There it is," Olivia whispered, pointing to a cell door marked with a rust-colored handprint. "The princess must be inside." The cell was secured with both an energy field and a physical lock. Olivia worked quickly, bypassing the security while Amelia kept watch. The lock clicked open and the energy field dissipated. They entered the small dark space. A small figure huddled in the corner. Her blue skin was gray with illness and malnutrition. 4 of her 6 eyes were missing, the empty sockets covered with thin scar tissue. Her royal garments had been replaced with prison rags. She looked up at the intruders, fear evident in her remaining eyes. Princess Silva. Olivia said softly, "We're here to take you home." The princess did not move, did not speak. She stared at them with suspicion. "Your mother. Queen Nilara sent us." Amelia added, "The maternal bond told her you were alive." At the mention of the maternal bond, Silva's expression changed. Hope flickered across her face. 3 power fluctuations, she whispered. "The signal." Olivia nodded and turned to the control panel she triggered, a sequence that caused the lights to dim 3 times in rapid succession. The princess stood shakily. "I knew she wouldn't forget me. We need to move quickly," Olivia said. "We have a ship waiting, but first." She held up the device that would disable the translator chip, built into your neck just below your left ear. "This will hurt, but it's necessary." The princess nodded and tilted her head, exposing the small bump where the translator had been implanted. Olivia pressed the device against it and activated. Silva gasped in pain but made no other sound. The indicator light turned green, translator offline. Olivia confirmed, "Let's move." As they left the cell, alarms began to blare. Red lights flashed throughout the corridor. "They know," Amelia said, readying her weapon. "Not yet," Olivia replied, checking her wrist device. "It's a different breach. Level 2 security teams responding that way." They moved as quickly as the weakened princess could manage, following a different route than they had come. The princess struggled to keep up, her breathing labored. Amelia supported her while Olivia led the way, checking each intersection before proceeding. They had nearly reached the maintenance shaft when 2 Xenalian guards appeared ahead. Olivia fired her weapon, hitting one in the chest. The massive alien fell unconscious. The second guard raised his weapon, but Amelia was faster. Her shot caught him in the shoulder, spinning him into the wall. "More will come," Olivia warned. "The maintenance shaft is too obvious. Now we need another way." The rust-scaled guard suddenly appeared from a side corridor. "Follow," she ordered in her harsh voice. Amelia hesitated, weapon raised, but the princess spoke. "Trust her," she said, "the one who helped me." They followed the Xenalian guard through a series of service corridors rarely used by prison staff. Behind them, they could hear the heavy footsteps of guards searching, alarm signals echoing through the prison. The rust-scaled guard led them through narrow maintenance passages not shown on any official prison schematics. The air grew thinner as they descended deeper into the moon. The princess stumbled several times, her weakened body struggling with the sorcerer pace. Amelia supported her while Olivia kept watch behind them. "Why are you helping us?" Olivia asked the Xenalian guard, keeping her weapon ready. The guard did not slow her pace. "My sister was a prisoner of the Valanthians during the border conflicts," she explained. "Queen Nilara ordered her released with all honors when the fighting ended. My sister still lives because of Valanthian mercy. I repay that debt." They reached a junction where several tunnels met. The guard pointed to the narrowest passage. "That leads to the emergency evacuation hangar for prison officials," she said. "It is rarely used. There is one guard. We are friends. He will look away." Olivia studied the Xenalian for signs of deception, finding none. "What happens to you after we escape?" she asked. The guard made a gesture equivalent to a human shrug. "I will destroy security footage report that I was attacked. I have status enough to avoid serious punishment." Princess Silva reached out one trembling hand and touched the guard's scaled arm. "Thank you," she said in halting Xenalian, the words clearly painful without her translator. "Your name will be honored in the royal archives." The guard seemed surprised by this gesture. For a moment, her harsh features softened. Then the alarms changed, tone becoming more urgent. "They know she's missing," the guard said. "The hangar will lock down soon. Go now." They moved quickly through the narrow passage, emerging into a small docking bay. A single Xenalian sat at a control panel. He looked up as they entered, his eyes widening at the sight of the princess. "Kraz," the rust-scaled guard called out. "It's happening." The male Xenalian named Kraz hesitated for only a moment before nodding. He pressed several controls on his panel. "I've disabled the automatic alerts," he said. "Emergency shuttle is prepped. Take it, I will delay pursuit." Amelia helped the princess toward the small shuttle while Olivia covered their retreat. The shuttle was designed for Xenalians much larger than humans. The seats and controls were oversized, making it awkward, but functional as. Amelia settled the princess into a seat. Kraz approached with a small medical kit. "Basic supplies," he said, offering it to Olivia. "Painkillers, nutrients. They should work for her species." "Thank you, Olivia," said, accepting the kit. The main doors to the hangar suddenly shuddered as something heavy impacted them from the other side. Security forces were attempting to break through. "Go," Kraz urged, returning to his control panel. "He'll open the launch doors." Amelia jumped into the pilot's seat quickly, familiarizing herself with the alien controls. The shuttle hummed to life systems activating. Olivia secured the princess and took the co-pilot's position. The massive hangar doors began to slide open, revealing the star-filled blackness of space. Amelia guided the shuttle forward thrusters at minimum power to avoid detection. Just as they cleared the hangar, the main doors burst open. Security forces poured in, weapons raised. Kraz and the rust-scaled guard stood, side by side, facing the intruders. "Hurry," Amelia muttered, increasing power to the engines. The shuttle leapt forward, leaving the prison moon behind. But their escape had only begun. Prison alert signals broadcast throughout the system. Patrol ships began to change course, converging on the moon. Amelia kept the shuttle close to the moon's surface, using the cratered terrain for cover. "We need to reach our ship," Olivia said. "The shuttle is too slow, too obvious." The princess watched through the viewport, her remaining eyes wide with fear and hope. "Where is your ship?" she asked, her voice stronger now. "Maintenance Bay 17. Amelia replied, "On the far side of the moon." "We need to circle around, avoiding patrols." As they navigated around the moon surface, proximity alarms blared. 2 patrol ships approached from opposite directions, boxing them in. "They're too fast," Amelia said. "We can't outrun them." Olivia studied the tactical display, noting the patrol patterns. "There is a large crater ahead, with heavy mineral deposits. It might mask our signature long enough to change direction." Amelia nodded and adjusted their course, diving into the massive crater. The shuttle's sensors immediately showed interference from the mineral-rich crater walls. Amelia cut power, letting them drift silently through the shadows. The patrol ships passed overhead, searchlights scanning the crater, but the minerals scattered their sensors. The shuttle remained undetected. When the patrol ships moved to the next search grid, Amelia powered up again and continued toward their hidden ship maintenance bay. 17 came into view, a small opening in the moon surface, barely large enough for their stealth vessel. They approached cautiously, sensors scanning for any signs of discovery. "The bay appears secure," Olivia reported. "Our ship is still there and shows no signs of tampering." Amelia guided the Xenalian shuttle into the bay, setting it down beside their sleek human vessel. Both women helped the princess transfer to the stealth ship. Olivia immediately began preparing for launch, while Amelia settled the princess in the small medical bay. "Drink this," Amelia said, offering a nutrient solution designed for non-human physiology. "It will help restore your strength." The princess accepted gratefully, her hands steadier now. "How did you find me?" she asked. "After so long, your mother never stopped searching," Amelia explained as she checked the princess for serious injuries. "Earth needs allies in our conflict with the Raxians. The Valanthian Empire is powerful. Queen Nilara agreed to consider an alliance if we helped find you." The princess nodded, understanding the political reality behind her rescue, but she also saw the compassion in the human woman's eyes. "You risked much for a stranger," she said. Amelia smiled gently. "Sometimes helping others is simply the right thing to do." In the cockpit, Olivia monitored Xenalian communications. Their escape had triggered a system-wide alert. Patrol ships were establishing a blockade around the moon. A much larger warship had been dispatched from the homeworld. "We need to move now," Olivia called. "There's a gap in the patrol coverage on the southern hemisphere. It's small, but it's our best chance." Amelia joined her in the cockpit quickly, taking the pilot's position while Olivia prepared the jump drive. They would need to make a precise jump immediately after clearing the moon to escape pursuit. The stealth ship rose silently. Amelia kept their speed low, relying on the cloaking technology, rather than velocity. Their sensors showed 5 patrol ships systematically searching outward from the prison coordinates. "We have 4 minutes until they reach our position," Olivia warned. Amelia nodded, guiding their ship through the narrow gap between patrol routes. Every system was running at minimum power to reduce their signature. The massive Xenalian warship loomed in the distance, its weapons capable of vaporizing their small vessel with a single shot. They cleared the moon's gravity well, and Amelia increased speed. The patrol ships continued their search pattern, unaware of the invisible vessel slipping past their perimeter jump coordinates locked. Olivia announced all systems ready. Just as Amelia prepared to activate the jump drive, AA, patrol ship suddenly changed course, turning directly toward them. Its unusual maneuver suggested it had detected something. "They've spotted us," Olivia said tensely. "Weapon systems charging." Amelia made a split-second decision. Rather than evading, she accelerated directly toward the patrol ship. The Xenalian captain clearly didn't expect this maneuver. The patrol ship hesitated, giving Amelia the second she needed. Now she called, activating the jump drive. Space twisted around them, the stars stretching into lines of light. The Xenalian system vanished, replaced by the swirling patterns of jump space. The sudden transition rattled the ship violently, throwing them against their restraints. But they had escaped. The princess appeared in the cockpit, doorway, steadying herself against the wall. "You did it," she said, her voice filled with wonder. "I'm free." Olivia checked their position and course. "We're not home yet," she cautioned. "The Xenalians will send pursuit ships. They can track our jump signature. We need to make at least 2 more jumps to throw them off." Amelia nodded, already plotting the next jump point. "We also need to contact Earth. Let them know we have the princess. Then, well, set course for Valenth." The princess stared out at the swirling colors of jump space, her expression a mixture of disbelief and hope. After 20 rotations of captivity, she was returning home. Her mother would be waiting. The thought brought tears to her remaining eyes, for the first time in many rotations. Princess Silva allowed herself to think of home, of the crystal spires of the royal palace, of her mother's embrace, of a future that had been stolen from her and now might be reclaimed. While Amelia guided their ship through jump space, Olivia tended to the princess injuries using the medical supplies Kraz had provided. The princess bore the treatment stoically, royal dignity evident, despite her diminished condition. "Tell me of Earth," the princess asked as Olivia applied healing gel to her wounds. "I have heard stories but never visited." Olivia described the blue oceans, the varied landscapes, the teeming cities. Each description seemed to strengthen the princess, her natural curiosity awakening after long suppression. "And the Raxian conflict," she asked. "How does it progress?" "Poorly," Olivia admitted honestly. "Our forces are stretched thin. Our technology is inferior to theirs. Without allies, Earth may fall within a year." The princess nodded thoughtfully. "When I return to Valanth, I will speak with my mother. The Royal Council respects her wisdom, but they also listen to me as heir. I have influence." They made 3 more jumps, each one taking them further from Xenalian space and closer to Valanthian territory. The princess grew stronger with each passing hour. The nutrient solutions and medical care slowly restored her energy. Her blue skin began to regain some of its former luster, though the scars of her captivity would never fully heal. Between jumps, they transmitted coded messages to Earth Command, confirming the success of their mission. The responses were jubilant. General Rivera himself sent congratulations. The diplomatic corps was already preparing for negotiations with the Valanthian Empire as they approached Valanthian space. Amelia became increasingly tense. The stealth technology that had served them well in Xenalian territory might be interpreted as hostile by Valanthian defense forces. "We need to broadcast our identity and purpose before we cross the border," Amelia said, checking the communication systems. The princess moved to the cockpit, joining the 2 humans. "I will speak to them," she said. No Valanthian ship would fire upon a vessel carrying royal blood. Olivia looked skeptical. "Will they believe it's really you? You've been missing for 20 rotations." The princess touched a small mark on her neck. "Just Below her jawline, every royal child bears this genetic marker, she explained. It cannot be faked. It transmits a unique signal that our security systems recognize. Amelia adjusted the communication array to the frequency the princess provided. Their small ship approached the invisible line that marked Valanthian territory. Sensors showed patrol vessels moving to intercept massive ships with technology far beyond Earth's capabilities. The princess activated the communication system and spoke. In her native language, the musical sounds were beautiful yet alien to human ears. The response was immediate. The patrol ships changed course, forming an honor guard rather than an attack formation. They recognize me, the princess said, her voice breaking. With emotion, they are welcoming me home. A royal escort vessel soon joined them, sleek and gleaming with ceremonial markings. The larger ship matched their course, providing protection as they traveled deeper into Valanthian space. The princess spoke, frequently with the escort commander, tears flowing freely from her remaining eyes. The Valanthian homeworld came into view, a beautiful planet with 3 small moons. The surface was predominantly blue and green, with sprawling cities visible even from orbit. The royal palace dominated the largest continent. Its crystal spires reaching toward the stars' landing coordinates are being transmitted, Amelia said as she guided their ship toward the designated area. The escort is arranging a direct path to the palace. The princess clasped her hands, trying to control their trembling. I never thought I would see home again, she whispered. Thank you both. My mother's gratitude will be boundless. They descended through the atmosphere, following the precise course laid out by Valanthian air control. The palace landing pad was clearly designed for ceremonial arrivals. It gleamed with decorative patterns and was surrounded by royal guards in formal attire. Amelia set the ship down gently. Immediately they were surrounded by security personnel and medical staff. The princess took a deep breath, steeling herself for the public appearance. When the hatch opened, cheers erupted from the gathered crowd. The princess stepped out, standing as straight and tall as her weakened body allowed. The royal guards knelt in unison, a gesture of profound respect and loyalty. The medical staff waited at a respectful distance, ready to tend to their princess. But honoring protocol first, Amelia and Olivia followed, remaining a step behind the princess as tradition required. They had been briefed on proper etiquette, but the overwhelming spectacle of the Valanthian royal welcome made them nervous. A hush fell over the crowd as a tall, regal figure appeared at the entrance. To the palace, Queen Nylara moved with deliberate grace, her 6 eyes fixed on her daughter. Her blue skin shimmered with emotion, her royal markings glowing brightly against her scales. The crowd parted, creating a path between mother and daughter. Princess took 1 step forward, then another. Her composure cracked, tears flowing freely from her remaining eyes. Mother, she called, her voice carrying across the silence. The queen moved faster, then her formal dignity forgotten as she rushed to her daughter. They met in the center of the landing pad, embracing with all 4 arms each. The queen's tentacled hair wrapped protectively around her daughter's head, a gesture of maternal comfort unique to Valanthian royalty. I never lost hope, the queen said loud enough for all to hear. I felt you living, I knew you would return. The crowd erupted in cheers again. The royal guards began a ceremonial chant, their deep voices resonating with ancient words of celebration and homecoming. The princess held tightly to her mother, drawing strength from the embrace she had dreamed of through years of captivity. When they finally separated, the queen turned her attention to the 2 humans. Standing straight and tall, she approached them, both Amelia and Olivia, bowed deeply as they had been instructed. Rise, human warriors, Queen Nylara said, her voice ringing with authority. You have returned, my greatest treasure, to me. The Valanthian Empire stands in your debt. Amelia spoke carefully, using the formal phrases she had memorized. Great Queen, we are honored to serve as the bridge between our worlds. Earth extends its hand in friendship and alliance. The queen nodded solemnly. My daughter tells me of Earth's struggle against the Raxians. We have observed this conflict from afar. Until now, we had no reason to involve ourselves. She gestured to her daughter, who now stood supported by royal attendants. But you have given us reason. You have shown courage, honor, and compassion, qualities we value above all others. The Valanthian High Council will meet tomorrow to discuss the terms of our alliance. The implications of her words sent ripples of excitement through the gathered officials. An alliance with the Valanthian Empire would change everything. The Raxians would be forced to reconsider their aggressive expansion. Earth would gain not only protection but access to technology centuries beyond their own. The formal reception continued for hours. The princess was taken to the royal medical chambers for treatment while Amelia and Olivia were honored as special guests. They were given luxurious quarters in the palace itself with attendants to see to their needs. The gravity was adjusted to Earth, normal in their rooms, a thoughtful accommodation later. That evening they were summoned to the Queen's private chambers. A great honor rarely extended to off-worlders. They were led through spectacular hallways, each more beautiful than the last. The palace seemed built of living crystal that hummed with energy and light. The Queen's private reception room was smaller than they expected, intimate rather than imposing. Queen Nilara waited for them seated in a simple chair rather than her formal throne. Princess Silva sat nearby, already looking healthier after intensive medical treatment. "Please sit," the Queen invited, gesturing to cushioned seats arranged for human comfort. "We have much to discuss away from formal ceremony." Amelia and Olivia sat carefully. The Queen studied them, her 6 eyes missing. "Nothing. Tell me of your mission," she requested. "Not the official report, but the truth. How did you find my daughter? How did you free her?" Olivia explained their intelligence network, the clues that had led them to the Xenalian prison moon. She described their Xenalian allies, the Rust-Scaled Guard, and her friend Kraz. These Xenalians risked much, the Queen noted. They showed honor unusual among their kind. They believed it was right. Princess Silva said, "They saw me as a person, not just an enemy." The Queen nodded thoughtfully. "The universe surprises us still after all these cycles." She turned to Amelia. "My daughter tells me you are a skilled pilot, that you evaded Xenalian warships with remarkable courage." Amelia blushed slightly. "I did what was necessary, Your Majesty." The Queen made a gesture of disagreement. "You did more. You showed initiative and bravery. Even your military command did not expect you to succeed. Yet you did against all probability. From a hidden compartment, the Queen removed a small, crystal container. Inside rested 2 medallions unlike any jewelry the humans had seen before. The crystals seemed to contain moving light, shifting and changing as if alive. "These are the marks of royal gratitude," the Queen explained. "They have not been given to off-worlders in 7 generations. They connect the wearer to the royal house spiritually and politically. Anywhere in the Empire, these will identify you as friends of the throne. You will never be without aid or welcome among our people." With formal gestures, she presented the medallions. Amelia and Olivia accepted with appropriate words of gratitude, understanding the profound honor being bestowed tomorrow. The Queen continued, "We begin formal negotiations with your government, but tonight, I wish to thank you personally. As a mother, not just a queen, you have given me back my heart." The princess reached over, taking her mother's hand. Their blue skin contrasted, one vibrant with health, the other still bearing the marks of captivity, but healing. Their connection was palpable even to the humans, a bond that transcended the physical. That night, after returning to their quarters, Amelia and Olivia stood at the window looking out over the Valanthian capital. The city glowed with soft lights, buildings of impossible grace reaching toward the star-filled sky. "We did it," Amelia said softly. "We actually did it." Olivia nodded, her usually stern expression softened by wonder, and changed the course of the war, perhaps of history. 3 cycles passed since the return of Princess Silva. The great crystal hall of the Valanthian palace was filled with dignitaries from 20 worlds. The formal alliance between Earth and the Valanthian Empire was being celebrated with a ceremony of unprecedented scale. Human diplomats stood alongside Valanthian nobles. Both species had learned much from each other in the months of negotiations, Amelia and Olivia watched from a place of honor near the royal dais. They wore their dress uniforms, adorned with the marks of royal gratitude. The glowing crystals drew respectful looks from everyone who passed. "You look uncomfortable," Olivia noted, seeing Amelia's stiff posture. Amelia adjusted her collar. "I prefer a pilot's seat to diplomatic functions," she admitted. "This uniform itches." Olivia smiled, an expression that had become more common in recent months. "Better get used to it. You're a hero of two worlds now. Captain Foster. Or should I say, Major Foster." The promotion had come through last week, along with numerous commendations. Before Amelia could respond, a hush fell over the crowd. Queen Nylara entered the hall, her royal regalia shimmering with ceremonial energy. Beside her walked Princess Silva, fully recovered from her ordeal. Her missing eyes had been replaced with cybernetic implants, a gift from Earth medical technology. The blue and silver devices allowed her to see even better than before. The princess had become a passionate advocate for the Alliance, working tirelessly to convince conservative elements of Valanthian society that humans were worthy partners. Her personal connection to Earth through her rescuers had influenced many who might otherwise have resisted. Queen Nylara raised her four arms in a traditional gesture of blessing and welcome. Her voice carried effortlessly through the vast hall. "Today we formalize what began with an act of courage," she announced. "We bind our worlds together, not merely as allies against common enemies, but as friends who share common values." She turned slightly, acknowledging the human delegation. "Centuries ago, our ancestors looked to the stars and wondered if we were alone. Today, we know the answer. We are not alone. We are part of a vast community of thinking beings, some friendly, some hostile. But in Earth's people we have found kindred spirits. Though we differ in form, we share the most important qualities: compassion, honor, determination." The Queen gestured to Amelia and Olivia. "It was these qualities that brought my daughter home when all seemed lost. Two warriors from a distant world risked everything for a princess they had never met. Their actions speak to the character of humanity. Their courage gives us confidence in this alliance." The formal treaty was displayed on a massive crystal screen. Its terms were generous to Earth, providing immediate technological assistance and military support against the Raxians. In return, Earth would share its unique cultural and scientific perspectives with the Valanthians. Each saw value in what the other offered as the ceremony continued. Princess Silva made her way to where Amelia and Olivia stood. "My friends," she said warmly, "I have news from the border regions. The Xenalian prisoners you asked about. The rust-colored guard and her friend Kraz. They escaped during a transport incident. They have been granted asylum in neutral territory." Amelia smiled broadly. "I knew they were too clever to remain captives for long." The princess nodded. "Our intelligence network is monitoring them discreetly. They are safe." "This pleases you very much," Olivia confirmed. "They risked everything to help us. They deserved freedom." The princess studied them with her new cybernetic eyes. The implants glowed softly as they processed visual information. "You humans continue to fascinate me," she said. "You form bonds so quickly, care so deeply about those you barely know. It's your greatest strength." The reception continued late into the night. Representatives from both worlds mingled, sharing stories and building connections. Valanthian musicians played alongside human counterparts, creating harmonies never before heard. Chefs from both planets had prepared a feast with dishes safe for all physiologies. General Rivera approached Amelia and Olivia, a rare smile on his weathered face. "You two have achieved the impossible," he said. "Not just rescuing the princess, but changing the course of galactic politics. The Raxians have requested peace talks. Their entire strategy depended on Earth standing alone." Olivia raised an eyebrow skeptically. "Do you trust them, sir?" The general shook his head. "Not entirely, but with Valanthian ships now patrolling our borders, the Raxians have lost their advantage. They're reassessing." He looked around at the magnificent hall, the celebrating dignitaries. "I've been in service for 30 years. I've seen conflicts that seemed endless, treaties that failed before the ink dried. But this feels different. This feels like a genuine turning point. Later, Amelia found herself alone on a balcony overlooking the capital city. The three moons of Valanth cast different colored light across the landscape, creating an ethereal glow. Queen Nylara joined her. The queen's movements graceful, despite her imposing size. "You seem pensive, Captain Foster," the queen observed. Amelia bowed slightly. "Just taking it all in, Your Majesty." "It's a lot to process." The queen made a sound of agreement. "This alliance changes everything, not just for our worlds, but for the balance of power throughout known space." She turned her 6 eyes toward the distant horizon. "When my daughter was taken, I faced the darkest time of my reign. Many counseled me to name a new heir, to accept the loss and move forward. But a mother knows, her child calls. To her across the stars I felt Silva's presence, however faint I knew she lived." Amelia nodded, understanding something of that bond. "Though she had no children of her own, you never gave up on her." The queen's skin shimmered with emotion. "Hope is powerful, Captain Foster. It sustains us through impossible trials. It gives us strength when reason tells us to surrender. My hope brought you to us. Your hope carried you through a mission others deemed suicidal. Together we have created something remarkable." She gestured to the celebration visible through the doorway. "Look at them, Valanthians and humans speaking, sharing, laughing. A cycle ago this would have been unimaginable." Amelia smiled. "Who knows what will be possible? A cycle from now." The queen made a gesture of approval. "Your species thinks in possibilities. We find that most refreshing." Back on Earth, preparations were underway for the arrival of the first Valanthian delegation. A cultural exchange center was being constructed in Geneva. Special accommodations for the physiological needs of the aliens were being installed throughout the diplomatic quarter. The news networks covered every detail of the alliance. Public fascination with the Valanthians was enormous. Schools added Valanthian language and culture to their curriculums. Universities established exchange programs. The first human students were already preparing to study on Valanth. The military implications were equally significant. Valanthian shield technology was being adapted for Earth defense systems. Their faster-than-light drive designs would revolutionize human space travel. The Raxians, seeing this rapid advancement, had withdrawn to their core systems. Their propaganda no longer spoke of conquering Earth, but of protecting their own borders. Olivia had been appointed as the head of a new joint security force. Her experience with alien cultures and her personal connection to the Valanthian royal family made her uniquely qualified. She would oversee the integration of human and Valanthian defense protocols. In the Royal Medical Center, Princess Silva underwent her final evaluation. The Valanthian doctors marveled at how well her body had integrated the human cybernetic implants. The collaboration between human and Valanthian medical teams had produced results that neither could have achieved alone. The princess caught sight of her reflection in a polished surface. Her new eyes glowed with inner light, a visible symbol of what could be accomplished when different species worked together. The scars of her captivity remained, but they had faded with time and treatment. She was stronger now, more determined. Her experience had changed her as it changed her people. "I want to visit Earth," she announced to her medical team. "I want to see the world that produced warriors like Amelia and Olivia. I want to understand what makes humans so resilient." The doctors exchanged glances. Such a journey would be unprecedented for a royal heir. But they knew better than to argue. The princess had developed a strong will during her captivity and recovery. When she set her mind to something, she could not be dissuaded. On the final night of celebrations, Amelia received orders from Earth Command. She and Olivia would remain on Valanth as the first official human military attachés. Their knowledge and connections made them invaluable to the alliance. Amelia found Olivia in the palace gardens. Human plants had been added to the alien flora, creating striking contrasts and harmonies. The air smelled of unfamiliar spices and familiar flowers. "So we're staying," Amelia said, joining her colleague on a bench designed for human comfort. Olivia nodded. Did you expect anything else? We've become too valuable as intermediaries, Amelia looked up at the unfamiliar stars. The constellations of Valanth were beginning to feel familiar now. When we took that mission, I never imagined we'd end up here, she said. I thought we'd be lucky to escape with our lives, let alone change the course of history. Olivia followed her gaze to the stars. When I was a prisoner in that Xenalian labor camp, I made a promise to myself. If I escaped, I'd do something that mattered, something that would make a difference. She touched the medal of royal gratitude. At her throat. I think we've kept that promise, don't you?